from the video. But this is John Bailey and the Heathen Revival.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
And this is John Bailey.
I am John Bailey.
Yeah. And
Alex.
JC Huber.
That's right. That's right. So, guys, I know it's a super exciting time for you. And, man, I'm glad to have you in the studio right now. You've got this big deal with Sony that's going on. And tell me about it. Tell me what's happening, what's going on with the band.
Yeah, I'll take this one. It's we got a distribution deal from Sony a couple of, I guess it's been about 6 months ago now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And basically they are letting us cut a full-length record, which will be our first full-length record. And so we're in the studio right now working on that. We just dropped our first single about a month ago. It's called Requiem. You can find it everywhere. So we're really excited to see that doing pretty good right now.
That's amazing to hear that you've done that. Now, where did you start? Did you start right here locally?
Yeah, of course, man. I grew up going to shows around here a lot. When I was younger, I was really heavy into the punk rock scene around here. So I went to a lot of shows at Vino's, a lot of shows, little punk rock clubs around here, Whitewater Tavern, seen a lot of shows there.
Yeah, of course.
Then back
Old
at the Village.
Juanitas.
Yeah, Old Juanitas, yep. Back at the Village. I don't know, do y'all remember
Yeah,
the
of
Village?
course I remember the Village, man. I
was
remember
awesome.
when Snoop Dogg came there.
Yeah, man. I think I remember that too, actually.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people went, but still don't remember. It was a good show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah, I started around here.
Okay.
Just going to shows and stuff, and
Who were your inspirations?
man, so that's like that's a weird question because obviously we grew up in Arkansas, so I grew up listening to George Jones and Willie Nelson,
Sure.
Chris Christopherson, Blaze Foley. Like songwriters. My mom was a big songwriter fan, and then also my dad, man, he was really big into like Van Halen.
Hell yeah.
5150 was like a pinnacle record at our house.
Okay.
Front to back.
He was a Sammy guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I like Sammy.
Yeah.
I always did like Sammy when he was solo.
Yeah.
And he was great with Van Halen. Just, that particular time frame has so many keyboards in it.
I know.
It hurts my heart.
That's the synth, the time of the synth.
Yeah. But did you like OG Van Halen?
Yeah, man, I'm not a huge David Lee Roth fan.
No.
I'm not one for the showman.
Okay, you're not on the machismo scene.
Man, I'm not into karate kicks and stuff.
No.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. But I like his voice. He had some really cool songs, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, iconic songs.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Seeing you live had me fooled on the karate kicks.
Yeah.
Well-
It takes a certain amount of sobriety not to do a karate kick.
I mean, I've been known to kick some shit. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I grew up with a lot of rock and roll and country influences, and then, my grandma, I'd sit in the kitchen with my grandma when I was a kid, and she'd be listening to like Ray Charles and Otis Redding and stuff. So I love
Some of the blues.
and I love soul and blues music. As I got a little bit older and more angsty, I got into punk rock and emo and metalcore and stuff like that. And so I spent a lot of time listening to bands like Taking Back Sunday and kind of emo punk bands like
Kind
that.
of a wide range of influence.
Yeah.
And that makes for interesting music to come out.
Yeah, and so that's like now, fast forward to now, I've always wanted to create kind of Oklahoma has like red dirt country,
Mm-hmm.
which is like it's like a blended version of like rock and country, right?
Yeah, right.
And Texas has like Texas country, which is kind of the same.
Yes.
And as far as Arkansas goes, man, I'm just trying to like put our own sound here in Arkansas. So we call it shred dirt. It's like if Nirvana had a baby with Willie Nelson or something.
Okay, now that's a great description right there. That's a great description. And I think it's right on time with the market.
I hope so, man. That's what
Well,
we're
no,
thinking about.
it is. It's exactly on time with the market right now. I've been watching it. Look, I guess by default, I'm a student of the game of music. Sure. And I've watched, the journeys of different bands and how they evolve and what happens. And more than that, though, the how the music scene evolves. Because if you go back to the 80s, the top of the charts in the top 40, you would have rock, you'd have predominantly pop rock in there. Okay.
Right.
Then it kind of expanded and you had everything in the 80s start to come on. But it wasn't until really the 90s till country started kind of coming over and
Right.
crossover, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, it still was kind of, they were still separate for the most part.
Yep.
And then hip hop kind of took over dominant for about the past decade.
Yeah.
But then there was this change because rock, and I'll tell you exactly what happened and when it happened. It happened because I was, on the other station, and I looked at someone and I said, "You're telling me that Avenged Sevenfold is the most mainstream band we're playing right now?"
Right.
Now, look, I love Avenged Sevenfold.
Sure.
Yeah,
Dudes are
absolutely.
badass. I've seen them live. I saw them with Joey Jordison and the spinning drum thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was dope. But they're not mainstream,
Right.
to be honest
Yeah.
with you. And at that time, rock had gotten to this place where they became the elitist.
Mhm.
They were like, if you're not this type of band, we don't want you repping right now.
Right.
Yep.
And so, that's where Nickelback started getting made fun of, that one of the greatest, and San Quentin still rocks. I don't give a shit.
Oh man.
I don't care, man. I'll jam it. Now, did I download it? No, but if it comes on, I'm jamming it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But my point being is that rock was no longer I hate to say it, a safe space for a variety of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely
And so everybody started flipping to country.
Yeah.
And you look at, Hootie opened some doors, but I do credit a lot of that with the frontman, Aaron Lewis, Stain.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
He really,
100%.
that was a big thing for rock for him that was almost as big as Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Yep.
Yeah.
You understand
Yeah,
when I
cool.
say that,
Yeah.
what I mean by that?
Yeah, man.
And so that was the moment the dam broke.
Yep.
And everybody went, hold on. They're partying over on the countryside. That's where
man.
everybody's cool.
That's what
And
the party's at,
and
baby.
so you had all these things, hip hop, you had the rock, and everything started fusing the country. And now it's dominating music everywhere.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Look at the fusion
I know.
going on.
He has exploded.
He has, and I think there's two things that it boils down to. Number one, your shit's good.
Yeah.
Okay, your shit's good. Your shit's good. I don't care what genre you're in. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
But number two, it's this whole different attitude. It's a whole different vibe of we're not better than everybody. We're not, I don't need you to worship. Let's just have a
Yeah.
good time
Absolutely.
together.
Absolutely.
I'm down to earth. If I see I'm going to shake your hand. We're going to talk. I don't want to be those guys.
Yeah. Man.
I don't want an us against them thing.
Yeah.
I want it to be we're cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what shifted in the model. That's why the Post Malones. That's why you have the Jelly Rolls.
Yeah.
Is these people said, wait a minute, you're my people, I'm your people. Why are we acting like we're not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that is the beauty of what's going on right now.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. We just got done playing a Crash Cast cover show at Vino's,
Yeah.
and we were way out of place there, but not really because I grew up in that club.
Right.
So it was just really cool to kind of bridge that gap with everybody, So I don't know. It's a really fun show, man. But it's just we're not a band you would expect to see at Vino's,
I think that's great though, because if it gives you the opportunity to win the crowd
Absolutely.
when you're not supposed to, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was what I was going to say. I think they actually rather enjoyed it, what we did.
Yeah.
It was high intensity. Like, it wasn't rock and metal what they're used to, but at the same time, they had a damn good time.
You pin their
Listening to it. Yeah.
ears back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You pinned them back.
And then to go from that, and then just last Friday we played at Sticky's with this like spaghetti western type act.
Yeah.
Really cool shit. They had like a steel guitar on stage, and
Yeah.
he was killing it on that. But
Mhm.
just the what's the word I'm looking for?
The dynamics, man.
Yeah, the vibe, the
Yeah.
change,
Mhm.
the different type of musicality
Right. And
involved.
how we can fit in with different groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's something that like we've all as a group sort of elaborated on how we want to go to play Welcome to Rockville and then go play
Right.
in
Well-
Austin, Texas.
Well, let me ask
know?
you the same thing. Who was when you were growing up, how did you get into music?
So I got into music because of church. My dad was a pastor growing up.
Okay.
And so they needed a musician, and they're like, "Hey, Jay, go pick that up." And
Okay.
so I just did it.
Right.
But growing up, a lot of influences were like Blackstone Cherry,
Yeah.
Shine Down,
Okay.
a lot of that.
So
rock.
some of the good mainstream edgy rock.
Yeah, yeah, and I really connected with Blackstone Cherry because it got a lot of that country rockabilly
Yeah.
vibes in it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's I loved it. Chris
Yeah.
Robertson is hands down the
Oh,
best
man.
guitar player I've ever seen live.
Man, I hear you on
So
that.
slept on, so
Yeah.
slept on. But taking that and then
That's a
going
great.
off-
Hold on. That's a great point, though. I mean, what a great guitarist.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
he really is. I mean, just growing up and trying to learn the stuff that he does on
Mhm.
stage while doing lead vocals,
Right.
while playing lead guitar, and putting on a good show at the same time. It's
That's very
it is-
challenging, isn't it?
It
Damn
is. It
impressive.
Yeah.
is.
It is really, to be honest.
Mhm.
So that was your kind of influence musically.
Yeah, yeah. Growing up for the majority of my life until I got a little bit older and started dabbling in the metal and punk, and I mean now one of my favorite bands is August Burns Red.
I know those guys, and they shred. I mean, they do. I mean, they'll melt your face.
Yeah,
You know?
completely polar opposite of
Yeah.
the spectrum.
But I think that's one thing about the metal crowd now, or it used to be, was they were the most accepting.
yeah,
They
absolutely.
didn't
Yeah.
care. I
Mhm.
mean, you would find them. They might listen to Taylor Swift. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They just like everything. That's just their form of
Mhm.
outlet.
Yep.
Tell us again. How did you come up musically? What got you involved in music?
So when I first started playing guitar, it was mostly listening to like Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But before that, riding around in my dad's truck with just me, him, and my sister, it was always like Hank Sr., Willie
Mhm.
Nelson, just all that kind of shit
I'm gonna-
going through the 90s.
Here's what I'll tell you, that I did not grow up in general as a country music guy. That I was a rock guy. I was a rap guy. I like those predominantly were my favorite things. I'm a product of the 80s, so you
Right.
get that, right? But it doesn't matter when you're in Arkansas, even if you're not a country music person, you're a country music person.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
You hear the songs, you know the songs.
Yep.
You're around people who love the songs.
Yep.
I mean, you're not escaping the DNA of country in Arkansas. It's
No
so
chance.
deeply rooted here, and they're damn sure, even if you say, oh, I only like rock, or I only like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's a country song that's going to come on and you're going to be singing it and you're going to go, well, I mean, I do know this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that not true?
Yeah, 100%. man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell them, Jason, what do you do? What do you play?
I play rhythm guitar
Mhm.
and whatever else needs to be done. Usually it involves taking off my clothes and getting the crowd pretty hyped.
I'm
Smash
sure they would
gears.
be. Now, it sounds like a great show. What do you do? Do you just work the pole, or?
Yeah, pretty much. If
Yeah.
I see a $1 bill, I'm getting down for
Yeah,
it.
no, I understand. Man, you're gonna work it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
He's picked up money with more things in his hands, I can tell you that.
No, I'm certain he didn't get the round mouth eating square meals. Is that what you
You
mean?
best believe it, baby.
What you play?
I play, I guess you'd call it lead guitar. We both do lead stuff. We
Co-lead.
both do rhythm stuff. We play guitar.
Okay, and you obviously play guitar,
Yeah, I play guitar and sing. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not much of a guitar player, man, but
We
I
have
just kinda,
8 guitar players.
So, what would you call yourself? What kind of guitar player would you call yourself?
I probably just rhythm, man. I just play acoustic. It's kind of
Singer songwriter.
singer.
stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just kind of adds that aesthetic.
Okay. So when you're playing with 3 different guitar players,
Yeah.
that has to at times present challenges. Now, there are bands that have done it, obviously. Eagles come to mind.
Yeah, man.
They're a great one. Matter of fact, if they came out today, they would be country. No
Yeah,
doubt
would,
about
sure,
it. Am
would,
I right?
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And now they're labeled rock, classic rock, right?
Yeah.
But they're country as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody loves the Eagles. I mean,
Everybody.
if you don't like the Eagles, you're probably a commie.
Probably.
I'm just being honest. You're probably a commie, maybe an atheist too. I don't know. Okay. So in the new music that you put together, how did you come together with all these guitars and all these ideas and all these influences, and somehow put it together into a cohesive, badass song?
Well, most of our songs start out just like he was saying, like a singer-songwriter vibe. So
Mm-hmm.
I write a lot of our stuff. And it just starts out as like an acoustic form, just kind of like a singer-songwriter form. And
Okay.
then we bring it to rehearsal, and we try to muddy it up a little bit, try to form it into our sound, the sound that we've been kind of shaping for all these
Mhm.
years. And it turns into a whole different thing, man. It's like it's a whole production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes it
Sure.
from bare bones to what you hear on the records.
I think, for me, where that came into play was when I was younger, was hearing Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Because they were unusual in having, the power of guitars that they did have in that band. And it's so much more of a lush
Yeah.
sound. It's so
Thick.
much fuller,
Yeah.
and I always noticed that about them.
Yeah. It's very thick sound.
Yeah, and I think that's cool when you can create that lush of a sound harmoniously
Yeah, absolutely.
or aggressively,
Right.
and,
Oh, yeah.
and if you can do both,
Yeah.
it's even better,
Yeah. So we tend to lead more towards the aggressive.
Yeah.
So
Now, let me, I don't want to, I know sometimes I get in the weeds on music, and so I may go too far down, but there's a Van Halen album called 1984, and there's a song near the end. It's called Girl Gone Bad. Do you by chance know that? Anybody know that song?
I've heard it. Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, I was just, I think about that song, and that to me may be one of the most impressive Eddie Van Halen songs,
Probably.
only because of everything he's doing when you shouldn't be doing shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
supposed to just be in between two notes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's doing 82
Yeah.
notes in between them.
Yeah.
But kind of like with hip hop now, like Migos. You know Migos?
Yeah.
Everybody know
Yeah.
that?
Of course.
Absolutely.
You see,
Yep.
see the difference in the world today, people.
Yeah, man.
That's dope as shit right there. Okay, but Migos, they have ad libs, right? And that to me, yeah, that's right. Yeah, mama,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody knows it, right? That shit gets me. I love it.
Oh, it's a hype, it's a hype,
right.
man. Yeah.
I feel like if your guitars are all working together,
Right.
it kind of creates that synergy, right?
You get it, man.
Absolutely.
You get it.
100%.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, and,
That's it.
and that's a unique thing to have that nobody, where two people are doing this one thing and one just is, popping in things. And I mean, your music's dynamic. I've heard it. It's good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of the things that we strive for is for never to have two of us playing the same thing
Yeah.
at
Right.
any point in any song.
No, it's great. It's like, in basketball, when you have a motion offense, everybody's moving, even without the
Right.
ball.
Yep.
You got this great instrument. Why are you standing there not doing shit,
Right.
And I think when you can leverage it like that and work it the way you guys do, and to me, it seems like, and maybe I'm wrong, but the complexity of your music seems like it would be twice as hard to practice and learn as a regular song would be. Does that make sense?
I don't.
You may not see it that
Right,
way because
yeah.
you're that
Right,
good.
yeah.
Our perspective is not
Yeah.
necessarily that. It's more, like we were talking earlier, the logistics are the things that nail us down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, rehearsals and practice and studio stuff, that's all fun for us, man.
And I would
Yeah.
think, one of the great things about a band like yours too, and I'm just going out on a limb, is that with what the instrumentation that you have and the abilities you have, when you do a song live, some people do a song live and it sounds a little different. Maybe they throw in a little guitar riff, but you could go nearly Grateful Dead and just jam.
Man, yeah.
Am I wrong
No,
about
I
that?
No, we
love
do it
Grateful Dead,
every
man.
show.
I assume that's got to happen, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're a glorified jam band for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I mean
Yeah,
that's but
great.
that's some of the greatest shit in the world. I mean, Pearl Jam, known
Of course.
for epically doing that, right? Fish,
Yeah.
Grateful Dead. I mean,
Widespread.
they're all bands that
Widespread Panic.
Widespread Panic, another great one like that. Yeah. Now, who's somebody you like musically that people be like, what?
Ooh, a band called Lawrence. They're like a pop funk fusion band. Like if Motown was current, is the best way I explain it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you got me intrigued.
Yeah, Lawrence.
How did you discover them?
YouTube.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
found them.
They had it's like they call it an acoustic-ish song, and so it's like halfway acoustic, halfway not.
Okay.
And the vocals on it, the harmonies on it, blew my mind, and instantaneously became a fan.
Okay.
And so growing up in high school, I did a lot of jazz band and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And we weren't a traditional jazz band; we were more fusion than anything, playing Shaka Khan and
Yeah.
um, uh,
Okay.
and Stevie Wonder and people like that. And so I really got into that. And
A lot
so
of funk.
yeah, a lot of funk. And so I seen this come up, and it's been years since I listened to that style of music, and I was like, oh, these guys are freaking killer.
That's awesome.
So
Man.
so yeah, that's my go-to band
Okay.
outside of the genre
Yeah.
stuff.
Who might you listen to that people be like, what?
I was thinking about it since you asked JC, and
Hmm.
it is hard to nail down one, but I would say probably just the whole Delta blues type thing. All
Okay.
the chest record
Like,
guys,
are you talking about like
the
Robert
Muddy Waters.
Johnson?
I love the Robert Johnson tapes.
Yeah, Robert
I'll
Johnson, King of the Delta Blues.
just run through those.
Man, I've talked and waxed poetically with friends about Led Zeppelin so many times because, some people would consider them out and out thieves. Others would say this is the way music was happening in these days.
Yeah.
Some might say a little of both.
Yeah, I think
I would agree with both.
Yeah. It's a fascinating thing because, if you're a fan of Robert Johnson, obviously, some of his riffs show up along the route in Led Zeppelin. At least it kind of warms the song up until they get to what they do.
Yeah.
Are you all fans of Zeppelin or
Oh,
no?
of course, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I have to be in a mood.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
There's no mood for me.
No.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about either one of you.
Wow, you just this could be a riff right now. I could have started something epic.
Downfall of John Bailey.
Band is breaking up.
Yeah, and somebody that you listen to that would be a surprise to everybody.
I don't know if anybody would be surprised. Really, I listen to all kinds of
I
stuff.
like
you
that.
know, I've been really getting into what's that? Teddy Swims. I like. Teddy
Oh
Swims.
hell yeah!
yeah,
No, Teddy Swims is the
Teddy
shit,
is
man.
His voice is butter, man.
No, it is, man, without a doubt, without a doubt. No, I do love that guy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a voice that I think is underrated. Is Anthony Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who that
Yeah,
guy
of
is?
course,
Anthony
yeah.
Hamilton, man. If you ever get a chance, brother, if you just
Smooth.
love music,
Yeah.
I do.
man, it's just start with a song called Charlene.
All right.
Just play that one. And as a matter of fact, I could see maybe someone's even done a country version. I don't know, but man, what a great song that is.
Man, the soul in that guy's voice.
man.
is unreal, man.
Oh no, that dude will get to you like Swims or Sturgis or Chris.
Stapleton.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Stapleton. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got one of those. I love people who have super distinct voices.
Me too.
It's like Ozzy. It's so weird.
Yeah.
That this dude can't make a good complete sentence, but you turn the mic on, man, and the guy still sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
And nobody else. I mean, there's nobody that
Yeah.
sounds like that dude.
Yeah.
And you know it from note one.
Yeah. I always felt that way about Tesla.
Oh
Tesla,
yeah, man, they were great. Yeah.
I always loved
No,
them.
man, I like them. I saw them when they came with Night Ranger and Bon Jovi.
Cool, man. What was
Yeah,
that,
the Barton.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's how old I am, dog. That's how old I am.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time for sure. So tell me, now that you guys have got this, are you, what's next? Where are the next shows? Are we going on the road? What can we do to be part of the success of the band?
Yeah, we're taking the rest of the year off. We just played our last.
Lazy sons of bitches.
I
I
know,
bring you in
I know.
right off the
God,
bat.
I
You
know,
take the
man.
year off. Thanks,
Thank
man.
God.
I know.
Wasting my time.
Yeah, so we're gonna take the rest of the year off.
Yeah.
We just played our last show at Sticky's Friday.
That's awesome.
We are recording though.
Yeah, we're working
Okay.
on it.
All right.
Yeah, we're not
I'll-
just doing nothing.
I'll
Yeah.
accept that. I'll accept that.
But yeah, we're excited to bring y'all this new record, man. It's a I try not to. I know you can be so humble that it's weird sometimes, but it's I try to really not think of us as better than anybody because we're not. But this record makes me so excited, man. It's the first project I've ever had that I genuinely like listening to. You know what I mean? It's just-
Yeah, that you feel a vibe
I feel
with
good
it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand your qualm there with on one hand, giving yourself an accolade and on the other being humble.
Yeah.
But, factually, people come together with different synergies and create something bigger and better than any of them.
Right.
And I think that's what's happened here. So, it's not about one thing, one entity, one note. It's
No.
about everything coming together.
Yeah.
And that does make something worth
man.
bragging about. And we're telling people, you know what, we may be three regular cats from Arkansas, but damn it, somehow when we put all this together, it becomes something cooler and better.
Yeah. Well, this is our identity, man. I mean, this is a lot of people, and it's not a dig at anybody. It's just a perspective thing. You have to be
Yeah.
honest about what your goals are in this and where you want to be and
Right.
what you're willing to sacrifice for it. And this is, we're like family, and I can genuinely say, like, this is our identity. I mean, I don't feel right unless we're getting together and doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't feel right unless we're writing together, or this is just what we do. And
Yeah.
Collectively, I think, again, I can speak for all of us. This is just kind of like, this is how I live. This is what makes me, carries me on throughout the day.
No, I get that. I 100%
Yeah.
understand exactly
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
You can turn off these mics, you can take away
Yeah.
a camera, and wherever I'm at, you can bet somehow, some way I'm going to entertain somebody there.
100%, man.
Right.
Because that's just how I'm going to run my mouth. I can't not run my mouth.
Yeah.
It was all the way through school, same problem. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you guys were probably tapping on things, banging on things, playing on things, strumming on things, doing something
Oh,
until
yeah.
somebody said, God, stop, please.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you still did it, somehow, some way.
Thanks,
Yep.
Dad.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, we used to talk our gym coach into putting on your rants.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, we had a
No.
cool, I swear, man, we had a cool trip.
Where was this at?
I went to school at Rosebud High School.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's near Cersei, right?
yeah, it's actually right near Cersei.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I know where that is. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
And he would do it.
Oh, of course, man. He was so cool. He's our football coach too. But
Yeah.
he was a cool cat, man. But anywhere else they wouldn't let us listen to that. But yeah, he was always like,
No, a lot of people wouldn't.
loved
Probably
your
shouldn't. I mean,
he loved your rants, man.
that's
He was
awesome,
classic,
man. That's cool, man. That span of ages were
yeah. And that was
we're
before
enjoying
you
it.
were actually
blown
no,
up.
you were. I think you were just calling in at that point.
It
Yeah,
could be,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I did it. Well, the next rant I do will be number 802.
Holy shit!
Yeah. That's if you put that in Fridays, that's probably more episodes than a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
for
know?
sure.
lot.
Well, just like you said, that's your identity, man.
It
Yeah.
it
You know, I mean,
is.
that's your bread and butter.
It's
I mean,
funny because the other day somebody was talking to me and said Angry Patrick, and said, is it okay if I said yeah, of course. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
You call me Angry AP, Angry Patrick, Angry P. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I think that a lot of and it's not the same, but kind of in a vein of it, the success that I've had mirrors what you're doing, because what you do represents every guy, every girl. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
something everybody can relate
I
to,
hope so, man.
everybody can feel, everybody can connect to.
Yeah.
And as boisterous and foolish as Angry Patrick is, everybody ultimately agrees. Yeah, no, he's making sense.
Yeah,
These people
yeah.
are crazy, right?
Everybody's got some Angry Patrick in them.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so
absolutely.
and everybody, has a music in them, but you bring it out,
Yeah.
and that's the dope thing about it, man. That's the dope thing.
Yeah, you were talking about Led Zeppelin earlier.
Yeah.
Zeppelin's always been a big band for me, but just
Yeah.
because of how creative they were.
Sure.
Whether we could have the argument whether
Yes,
they
how they did or didn't. Yes,
you can't reinvent the wheel.
no,
You
it
So-
is what it is at this point. But
I think that is you don't get a lot of bands like that anymore.
no,
Because it's just those guys used to sit behind a desk and wherever they were, the fat guys with cigars.
Yeah.
They didn't have a clue about fucking music, man.
Hey.
I'm
That
just
hurt.
saying, they didn't have a clue about music, man. They didn't have
No.
a clue, and so they'd be sitting there smoking, and they'd say, "That sounds weird. Let's try that out." And
Yeah.
fucking Led Zeppelin. Well, there's
Yeah,
no
right.
fat guys anymore, man.
no,
You
you're
got-
right.
You
I'm
got
right
all
here.
the right. You got all these, quote unquote, for lack of better terms, you got all these hippies and stuff. people that don't know a lot, they think they know what kids want to listen to. They think they know everything.
Yeah.
And then you just get all this cookie cutter music put out.
Right.
And I just want to bring back the fat guy with cigars. You know,
Well,
I want to get some weird music out. You know,
You're right in a way, because in the 70s, particularly 60s and 70s, I should say, you know, there was an instrumentation revolution that occurred, and you've reached about the height.
Yeah.
There's not much more you can do well, now you can have AI make it for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a
so
whole other-
and that, don't even get me started on that soulless stuff, but neither here nor there. You've run the gamut, you know, so there, it's hard to find new ground without going to old ground.
Yeah.
You have to go back to the basics to make something sound new now.
Yep.
If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, it does, man.
Because you look at Pink Floyd and, for example, what they were doing at that era with a Moog and with, you know, some very crude instrumentation by our standards,
Yeah.
and they were making sounds that were insanely
Yeah.
amazing and imaginative.
Yeah. With some help.
Obviously, yes.
Some help from
Alan
LSD.
Parsons.
Oh, I was.
Oh,
talking
and
about-
LSD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Parsons, man.
Yeah. Well, he probably was on it too. Maybe he wasn't. He was the engineer, but
No, probably.
you know, Led Zeppelin. Similarly, I mean, you got Jimmy Page out there playing with a bow.
Yeah, man.
You know, doing stupid stuff. You know, he was also on LSD, by the way. Yeah, as was Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah.
You know, matter of fact, maybe it's LSD.
Yeah.
Maybe more of that.
But it needs more acid.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's, more LSD makes better music.
Yeah, it's got to.
Yeah.
No, more doesn't, but some might.
Some might, yeah.
Some might. I mean, you know, you never can tell. I did do some creative things in that realm in my lifetime.
I've had some strange trips, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask this, and now I'm being too deep here, and nobody has to involve themselves in answering anything, but since you've shown willingness here, did you ever have such a thing as a bad trip?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like I wouldn't call it necessarily a bad trip, but I've definitely had some panic attacks.
Yeah.
You know, where I just was ready for it to be over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say like I'm seeing goblins or anything. I've never.
No, I always ask people because I've always believed it's more state of mind, unless you've just done an obscene amount that takes that away from you.
And you're right. It was definitely a state of mind. I wasn't in the right headspace.
Same with shrooms,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
You know, now there are variations. Don't get me wrong. Some are more potent, much the same with LSD, or anything. But with shrooms, you know, if you're in the right head state, man, it's a great ride.
Great.
If you're not, it can get real dark real fast.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's more about like where you're at, your perspective for that day. You know, also like who you're with. And I don't want to be around a bunch of lame people.
Yep.
No,
know,
you
when I'm
can't
doing
be around
shrooms, yeah.
stiffs doing
Yeah.
that. Although I will say this, and I was talking about it the other day. You know, every once in a blue moon, I still like to, you know, ride the lightning.
Sure.
And so I did a nice round of shrooms, and it was fantastic. My wife had initially said she might, but that's normally what she always says, and then she doesn't.
Yeah.
So I guess I should really know she's never going to.
Yeah.
But she did agree that she was cool, if I just did my thing, and she'd make sure I didn't go off the rails anywhere. I sat in the living room on the couch the entire time. I started a sci-fi movie, and it was the greatest. I don't know what it was. I can't find it again, but it's the greatest sci-fi movie I've ever seen in my life. I promise you that, man. Color never came so good. Shapes coming out of it. It was amazing, So, yeah, I think it is a lot of fun sometimes.
Cheeks are hurting the next day.
Oh, man, yeah, for sure about that. Well, I'm rattling on here. So first, before we get to a performance, what I want to know is how the hell do they find your music? Let's get them to where they know who you are and how to find you.
So we have a website, first and foremost. It's www.jvthr.com. But yeah, other than that, we're on all socials. I mean, we've got Instagram, Facebook, Farmers Only, Tinder.
Yeah, all that.
So,
yeah.
All streaming platforms.
I'm gonna do something for you that somebody did for me.
All right.
Drop the www.
Drop it.
Everybody knows now.
Sure.
You don't even need it.
Sure.
Yeah. It's so, but that's how we started.
Yeah.
So it takes a while to get, but yeah, you don't even need it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, a lot of stickers and things you'll notice they don't even put it on there
They
anymore.
don't. They
No,
don't.
it just
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
yeah. It just saves you a little bit of lip space there. And as a singer, you need all that.
I do, man.
You know, I'm trying to help you out
I
here.
do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, do you like John Mayer?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you do?
Of course,
You-
man.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, everybody.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
that's interesting. I was just curious. I've been kind of taking my own samples lately because I still like him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You know, I still think the dude's amazing.
he is incredible, man. I don't
He's a
care
great
about
guitar
people's
player.
I think he
personal
slept
lives.
on as a guitar player,
Yeah,
He's
actually.
a
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal guitar
Dude, not a
player.
lot of people get to say, yeah, I was on stage with BB King and hung in with him.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. No,
Or not
that's
to
Maybe
mention-
stop playing to
Not
listen
to mention
to
the
him.
Dead and Co. Man, he's been playing with
Yeah.
the Dead and Co.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's good stuff too.
Oh, great stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was just curious there, just wondering. All right, well, I guess that what we'll do now is hit this, and we're going to get ready for the live part. Okay, they're
Cool.
going to set up, so just be patient for a second here. All right, I am back, and they are getting set up over here, and I'm going to see if I can operate this camera and make that work. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is going to work out real good, I think. Oh wait. Yes, sir. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to adjust the mics. So hold on.
Oh my God, damn.
All right, everybody. Yeah, here's the exciting tuning session, of course.
The European Delicacy Tune E.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Tattoos.
Tattoos?
Oh, I thought, yeah.
Slight adjustment.
Capo 3, right? For me. Yeah.
Okay.
Skip the solo section. All right, cool. So this is going to be our next single. This is She got tattoos I'm too afraid to ask about. She makes me feel like a dangerous man. Kick the tires and light the fires. Good God Almighty's going down tonight. Everybody's got heartache in their mind. Got tattoos and a nose ring. Nothing left to prove and no one to blame. Everybody's got heartache in their mind. She got tattoos I'm too afraid to ask about. She makes me feel like a dangerous man. She tells her friends and we're just hanging out. But I've been hanging with all her friends. Here comes Jimmy with what's the name? Must be into secondhand pain. Everybody wants to be someone tonight. He got sharp teeth and cheap cocaine, a knife and loose women and honky-tonk flames. Everybody wants to be someone tonight. She got tattoos I'm too afraid to ask about. She makes me feel like a dangerous man. She tells her friends and we're just hanging out. But I've been hanging with all her friends. This ain't me breaking down. This ain't a cry for help. This is me searching for the air after I've already drowned. She got tattoos I'm too afraid to ask about. She makes me feel like a dangerous man. Tells her friends and we're just hanging out. But I've been hanging with all her friends.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is John Bailey and the Heathen Revival, baby. How about it?
Yeah, cool, man.
All right, way to go, man. Thank y'all very much. We'll see you next time.